Vicky. I work at MMS Advocates, and today we will be talking about not-for-profit entities. And so my colleague Maggie will be asking me questions on that. Welcome, Maggie.
Thank you, Vicky. So, which not-for-profit entities exist?
So there are several not-for-profit entities in Kenya. Today we'll be talking about 5 of them. We will be talking about societies, NGOs, CBOs, companies limited by guarantee, and trusts.
Tell us a bit about societies.
So the thing about societies is that it has a very wide scope. So first of all, if you want to register, so for example, a welfare association, an alumni association, a residents association, really just the scope is up to you. The only thing about societies is that you have to be 10 or more, and then your activities have to be limited to the group of people that are doing it. That's the thing about societies.
What about NGOs?
So for NGOs, if you want an entity that can get you donor funding, NGOs are really trusted because they have a governing body or a regulatory body that registers them and keeps them in check. And so most donors, well-wishers, like NGOs, they like to work with NGOs. So that's the thing about NGOs. But then on the negative side, NGOs are very limited in terms of the scope of activities that you can carry out. So your objectives have to be very, very clear from the word go.
Tell us about companies limited by guarantee.
Right, so the thing about companies limited by guarantee is that also the scope is as wide as you could get. And the good thing about companies limited by guarantee is that it's literally a company, so you could start it with a minimum of 2 people. That's the benefit of a company limited by guarantee, and you could do practically anything with it. But now the thing about companies limited by guarantee is that they are subject to the compliances that are required for other companies. So the same thing, the tax protocols, the filing of annual returns, and all those things, it's subject to those compliances. That's the thing about companies limited by guarantee.
What about trusts?
So for trusts are also really good because they have a good scope. You're able, and especially on the tax bit, you're able to quite save on the tax bit. They're not as taxed as the other entities. But now the thing about trusts is that you have to be very, very, very specific about the class of beneficiaries. Beneficiaries are the people who are meant to benefit from the trust and from the money raised from the trust. So you have to be very specific about the beneficiaries, and you have to be very specific about the assets that will be set aside for the trust. So if it's a certain amount of money, you have to be very specific about the amount of money. You have to be very specific about the entity. If it is an asset or a building or a property, you have to be very specific about that.
Finally, tell us about CBOs.
So also CBOs are very good not-for-profit entities, especially for a group of people, an already established group of people. So if you're already a group, let's say a self-help group or something, it's a very good entity to now register as a CBO. So the thing about a CBO is that first of all, it has to be a group, and secondly, you have to have local presence. You have to be present locally on the ground for you to be able to meet the objectives. So it's unlike, let's say, a society which can have members from different places. You have to be locally based. You have to be very local in order to be able to meet the objectives set by the CBO. Yes.
Thank you, Vicky.